Which page?
165. So first of all, before we proceed with explaining the remaining paragraphs, we need to make a recap on what has already been covered. So in this text, we mainly spoke about childhood obesity, how it has become something very common among teenagers and children today. Can you tell me what are some reasons behind childhood obesity today, please?
Social media.
Social media, in what way? Okay, so they are influenced by the trends and by the junk food being promoted on social media. What else? Okay, they spend long hours gaming, so they stay seated, they don't move. What else? Children today. Children today, do they work out?
No.
They don't work out, so mainly they are like, okay, they have English. They have what we call a sedentary lifestyle. It means a lifestyle that doesn't include much movement. Okay, there is also one more thing. Some students, when they spend time gaming, during the gaming, what will they be doing? Snacking. And usually, definitely, they don't snack on healthy stuff. It's like all about chips and whatever. Okay, in some cases, but mostly they snack on junk food. So also this is one contributing factor. And also in some cultures, even the types of food that they cook are very fatty and they are unhealthy. For example, in America, most of their food is deep fried. And in this case, people won't be consuming healthy food. Yeah. So this results in weight gain, especially among teenagers and kids. Do you believe that cartoons can be very influential, like this show, Ashi and Friends? They call it an edutainment program. Edutainment, education plus entertainment. So students, or sorry, children will be watching these cartoon shows, although they are entertaining, but at the same time, they teach them how to exercise, how to eat healthy. They teach them about music, about fitness, about nutrition, and so on. So cartoon shows can be very influential when it comes to having a positive impact on kids. Jana and Noor, in case I'm not explaining anything new right now, I'm just reminding you of what we have explained because it happened last week. So if there is anything that you don't understand, please ask. Also in paragraph 2, they spoke about the expenses of obesity. This is page 165. Sidra 165, paragraph 2. In America and in Europe, the governments cover the expenses of hospitalization. Like if a person goes to hospital or whatever, who pays the fees, the bills? The governments. At least they have what they call the healthcare system over there. It's all its expenses are covered by governments. Yeah, it's just that they cover the expenses of the natives. Like if you go live there, you have to pay. But I mean, locals, they are covered. So when we speak about this, so imagine obese children, how many health problems they might have because of their obesity. And because of these illnesses, the government will be paying huge sums of money on them. Can you give me some examples of illnesses that result from obesity? Like when a person is obese, what are some health issues that he or she might suffer from?
Cancer.
Veins closing
Hypertension,
up.
cancer. Sorry, no, what did you say?
Their heart veins closing up. I don't know what it's called.
Okay, cardiac issues or heart issues, of course. Your friends told me diabetes and hypertension, high blood pressure. What about, okay, strokes? Yeah, sure. And what about also cholesterol? Okay, so all of even cancer, guys, because cancer cells feed on sugar, white sugar. So basically, there are plenty of illnesses that might result from obesity, and this is costing governments around $14 billion per year. Yeah, as we can see here, childhood obesity is becoming pretty expensive. When they tried to teach children through school-based programs about healthy eating and And when they increased the prices of sugary drinks, did this make any changes? Even in the West, it didn't. It did nothing. Because at the end of the day, even if Pepsi can, no, let's say they increased its price for some reason. Instead of half a dollar, it cost $2. People who want to drink it will still buy it, especially children if they are not supervised by their parents. Because at the end of the day, the child will do whatever he feels like doing in case his parents are not supervising what he's doing, monitoring the portions that he eats, or at least monitoring the quality of food that he is consuming and the portions. That's exactly what I said. So basically, it's not enough. No matter what they do, it's not enough, except if it is well supervised. And even here, they spoke about, in paragraph 4, they spoke about cookery workshops for the children and their parents. They help them cook together. They teach them how to cook in a healthy way. And even this did not work much, because if you only attend the course and you don't implement this in your daily life, it's useless, because this is a lifestyle. Okay. Of course, in paragraph 5, they spoke about obesity being widespread in rich countries, not in poor countries. This is normal, because at the end of the day, poor countries might suffer from famines, from starvation, so you don't have obese children over there. Okay. Even they said no matter what you do, even if you cut down on unhealthy food and junk and sugary drinks and as long as your child has a TV and a smartphone in his room, then he will be snacking without even paying attention to the quantity of food he's eating. So basically, it's useless. And especially that donuts and junk food is much cheaper than buying fruits, because in Europe and America, they buy fruits by the piece. Yeah, like you go buy an apple. Yeah, exactly. And it's usually more expensive than junk food. So people, whenever they want to eat healthy, they will be spending more money than spending on junk food. So many people prefer junk food to save money. In paragraph 6, we need to read it now. We reached paragraph 6 last time. One factor leaps out, which is greed. When you are greedy, you have this gluttony, then you eat more than you actually need to. You just overeat because you don't get enough. And this is explained by the avarice of Willy Wonka's. Have you ever watched a movie called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Yes.
It's yeah, no, it's a very interesting movie. I recommend it, by the way. But guys, in this movie, they speak about going on an adventure to a chocolate factory, and the scenes in this movie make you feel super excited to try those chocolate bars. So today, because our society and children are super addicted to chocolate, they are calling them the Willy Wonkas of our society, to show that children are addicted and they consume chocolate really much. The tactics of big food are, as the Global Health Organization Vital Strategies points out in its report, Fool Me Twice, strikingly similar to those of big tobacco over the years. So they are comparing the addiction to chocolate to addiction to tobacco. Chocolate can develop an addiction in the same way in which cigarettes can develop an addiction. But food has an advantage that everyone needs to eat, but not everyone needs to smoke. So food is even more addictive. Yeah. Thus, these companies tell us that we should not restrict individual freedom, that it is up to people to show self-discipline. So the problem is not that supermarkets promote chocolate or promote junk and promote candy. This is not the problem. The problem is that we as people, we don't have self-discipline. We don't have self-control. Like if you have 20 chocolate bars in front of you, should you eat them all?
Yes.
Yes. No, this is what we call self-discipline. You need to have self-control over controlling your portions. Never mind that they present family-size packs as if they are suitable for individuals. And even today, for example, did you see the recent Dolce chips bag that was introduced a few months ago? It's this big, okay? And it's cheap. Yeah, okay, no. The point is, when you present such family-size packs, no, not the offer. The size of the bag is huge. The size of the bag is this big. Yeah, and it's cheap. Exactly. So when you promote such family size packs and sell them to individuals, the individual will be eating a family size chips bag, especially if they are very affordable and very cheap. And they are, yeah, especially if they're watching a movie, playing games. So they end up consuming large amounts of highly processed foods that are packed with salt and sugar, and they are cheaper to produce, store, and deliver. In this case, as we can see, guys, here on this illustration here, what is the child doing in this illustration, please? Watching TV and eating. And if you can notice, he is also imitating the eating habits. He's imitating the eating habits of the child on the screen. So children, not only do they eat a lot while watching TV, they try to eat the same types of foods being promoted. Okay? So do you believe that we should have a junk-free TV? Like, do you believe that TV stations should no longer advertise junk food? It's,
some videos.
what do you say, Khalid? Should TV stations stop advertising junk food?
No.
No? Okay, so because you're gonna keep on eating in all cases, so it's, you know, so all in all, you can eat from all these foods, right, Ghazal, but we can control the amounts. You know, if I can eat chocolate, but not 5 bars a day. So you can eat from everything, but control your portions. This is exactly what we call self-restraint. Paragraph 7. So most of you agree that the solution is not to stop junk food completely or not to stop junk advertisements on TV. These are not solutions. Solution lies in self-restraint. Paragraph 7. Other countries have been far bolder in tackling the industry instead of relying on voluntary action. In Latin America, governments have forced companies to remove cartoon characters from cereal boxes. Do you know the meaning of a cereal box? Yeah, the cornflakes. So governments are telling them remove cartoon characters from cereal box. Yeah, because children will be attracted to eat more from these cereals just because of the picture found on the box. Imposed junk food taxes, and even some governments in Latin America put taxes on junk food, and they ordered school shops to replace high salt and high sugar products with fruit and vegetables. So governments in Latin America are forcing school cafeterias to replace junk food that is packed with salt and sugar with fruit and vegetables. Tougher rules reshape consumer perceptions and decisions. No, there are some cereals that are sugar glazed. They have a lot of sugar. Yeah, I'm not talking here about healthy cereals. Yeah, chocolate, everything. We have plenty of types. Ones that are dipped in honey and milk and sugar and chocolate. So many of them. The plain one has no cartoon characters. If you notice, plain cornflakes, the ones, no, plain. Yeah, plain ones, السادة بيقولوا له, plain one, or cornflakes, it has no cartoon characters on it. But the ones that are rich in sugar and chocolate and whatever, they have cartoon characters on the box. Exactly, because they attract kids. Like even the Fruit Loops, you know the Fruit Loops? It's full of colors. You know, if children put such cornflakes in their milk, it ends up like a rainbow. So this is also very toxic because these are food colorings plus sugars. You know, the damage is double-sided. Yeah. A ban on junk food advertising before the 9 p.m. watershed is long overdue. So some countries even banned advertising junk food before 9 p.m. because after 9 p.m. children will have slept. So if they want to advertise junk food, they advertise it after 9 p.m. It should be supplemented by a ban on promotions and price cuts for sharing bags of chocolate, as Action on Sugar urged last month. So here we have an initiative or an NGO called Action on Sugar, مثل NGO. It's trying to help children by asking schools and TV stations to cut down on the advertising of sugar and junk. And the sugar tax on drinks could be extended to food products. So sugar taxes should not only be placed on drinks, it should be placed on food products as well. So drinks rich in sugar should have extra taxes on them, and even food products rich in sugar should also have taxes on them. That's according to Action on Sugar initiative. With the revenue channeled into initiatives making fruit and vegetables more affordable and attractive to consumers. Like today, if you find that an apple costs more than a chocolate bar, you're gonna buy the chocolate bar. But if apples become more affordable, then people might shift to healthy eating. The government's failure to enforce change means that the rest of us will pay the price in ill health and higher taxes as big food rakes in the profits. So again, we are focusing on the government's role in increasing taxes and in limiting people's access to junk food. I'm gonna stop here because I honestly have a sore throat and the text is done. Basically, we have finished the reading. Yeah. Next time we'll be working on the questions. So that's it for today. Thank you so much. I will start 5 minutes only. Okay? Thank you guys. Have a good day.